Welcome to In the Mix, a DJ series. I'm your host, DJ RunDat. I'm on a mission to inspire and support you in reaching your goals in life and business. Do you want to know the secrets to growing a profitable DJ business? Tune in to hear real-life stories from DJs across the globe who have grown successful DJ businesses. Welcome to In the Mix, a DJ series. I'm your host, DJ RunDat. Today I have DJ Neeek Nyce. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well as can be expected.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, thank you for being here. I'd love to start out the interviews with you just telling us, how did you get started as a DJ?
My story becoming a DJ was actually by mistake because I am a dance instructor. I used to do Zumba fitness, and I used to ask a DJ to make my mixes for me for my routines. And it just got to the point, he was getting busy and he didn't have time to do my sets. And I met a friend who was a DJ and I asked him, but he didn't do it how I wanted it pieced together. And he was showing me a couple of things on his board. Then he had a birthday party for his daughter. I jumped on the set. They're like, wow, like, Neek, you actually are pretty good. And he saw that kind of passion, just me playing around. And he had an extra board and gave it to me. So this was about 5 years ago. He gave me a Newmark Mix Track Pro, like a little 2-pound controller with virtual DJ on it. And I practiced in and out of my room. And next thing you know, like I just kind of wanted to take it a step further and invest into it. So I started purchasing DJ equipment, and that's how I became a professional DJ.
Wow. I love it. I feel like most fitness and dance instructors, they are DJs, whether they realize that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with Zumba, because you can count the beats and all that. I am the funniest Zumba dancer. Everyone thinks that as a DJ, I would be able to be a good Zumba dancer, but I'm not. I do love it though. It's super fun.
Yeah, I feel like anybody who's a dancer or a musician, they can pick up DJing very easily because they understand beat measures and counts versus like someone who has no experience. It's harder for them to grasp the BPMs and mixing music together.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were first getting started, did you have any specific mentors or teachers?
I actually did. My friend Brian, he's actually someone I went to high school with. He taught me how to play the drums when I was a freshman or sophomore. And he got into DJing years before I even thought of it. So when I received that piece of equipment from my friend, I was asking him about speakers, how to set up, how to promote myself. And he pretty much walked me from beginning to end. Like everything I have, I copied and mimicked him because I saw, and I learned from him.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like, although he taught me the technicalities of DJing, I taught him the business aspect. Mm-hmm. And we both work together hand in hand still to this day. He's like my brother company.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, because not a lot of artists I've noticed are very business minded. It's something we kind of get forced into in a way, or just there's this point where you're DJing and then people want to hire you and you're like, oh, what do I charge?
Yeah.
And still to this day, 12 years later, I still have fun playing with it, like with raising my prices and doing different packages. And like every year it's a little different. And as my demand grows, I get to, charge more. And it is definitely something that not everybody gets right away, is that to value their worth, really.
Yeah. It took a couple years for me to understand it. And although this other friend of mine wasn't a DJ, he a thing that he told me and I like stuck to the back of my head because I didn't understand it before was you need to market to the people who can afford you.
Ooh.
And when he said that, I didn't get it 3 years ago because I was only charging a couple $100. I'm thinking like, oh, that's good. But he said, no, if you're doing this for business, you have to make money. If you have workers, they have to make money, and then your company has to make money. So you have to charge a reasonable amount where everybody can get paid and be satisfied. But if that means you have to go to a whole different network and a client base that can afford to pay those couple $1,000, that's who you need to target.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that still to this day. And I had to remind myself about it, that I can't go chasing the money. It will come to me, especially if people want you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that like what I'm learning is I feel like a lot of my success is from just who I'm being as a person. And as I'm building the authentic personality brand and people are seeing who I am online and the energy and the excitement and enthusiasm and, gratitude and my passion for DJ. And they see that, they feel that, and they want to support that. And so target, talking about your ideal client, it's like, I want to attract people that have like an energy like mine. Yeah.
That is very important. And I think over time, when I changed my marketing scheme, it helped me reach that level of clients that value business and they value your worth.
Yeah.
There's no question and no debate. When you give them a price, they're like, okay, where do we cut the check?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you get to do a lot of corporate events?
I do. My corporate network is definitely expanding, and it started with a small nonprofit organization, which most people think nonprofits, they don't have money. It's just depending on what they're doing. I learned how to navigate nonprofits because there are certain aspects of their events that I give back as a company. And then when they do their year end celebration, they have a specific budget that they keep in mind and it's allocated for entertainment. So you can charge and they will pay you that with no hesitation because it's in their budget.
Mm-hmm.
But between them, even doing the cruise ship, I had to treat it like a corporate market because it's the kind of music you're playing, very top 40s and mainstream music. And, museums, and it's a lot of people I've met throughout the years that were in the corporate sector. And I appreciate my relationship with them and how I've grown in business to even reach that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot that you've done the cruise ships too. I was interviewing A-Rock. And I'm like, I can't wait one day. It's on my list. Like I have it on a big wall-size post-it note. It says DJ on a big boat, and I watch Riri, and I interview DJs that have done the cruise ships, and I'm like, there's no big boats except like fishing boats where I live. So I gotta come over to the East Coast or something. Yeah.
Different environment. And my experience on a ship is probably a lot different than say like Riri or Brick House or someone who's been on Princess or Carnival, because I was considered guest entertainer and I've only had a short-term contract where they were on the ship for a couple of months, and it's completely different living environment and just like everything within the ship, the rules and regulations is completely different.
I've heard that. If you're just the guest DJ on the short term, I've heard that. So that's interesting because that's what I would probably do because I have a family and I don't see myself leaving for months. So very cool. What is some of your favorite places that you got to go?
On the ship, I like St. Martin. That was probably one of my favorite beaches. And as far as the scene of the water, I was just in awe with it was Costa Maya, just like how blue and clear the water is. It's just so breathtaking. Those were my two favorite places.
Yeah, you're giving me chills because like I just love like that crystal clear blue water, like Belize, Jamaica, Bahamas. It's been too
Yeah.
long since I've gotten to go. Yeah, that's so fun. So what have you been up to this year? You haven't really stopped. I've been watching you. You're on Facebook Lives, you're hosting Zoom webinars, you're on national, is it national news like TV? Like tell me about that. You were on, I think, CNN?
CBS 3.
CBS. Okay, I don't have TV, but okay, so CBS. So tell me about that.
Well, my first time being featured on CBS was about 2 years ago. I volunteered for Career Day, and one of the ladies who was presenting to the students was a news reporter who attended that school. And when we were in the break room, she asked me my profession because out of everyone else, they're all like in the corporate sector. I'm just this DJ in a t-shirt and, you know, kind of relaxed, looking like a student. And she said, "You have a very interesting vibe about you. Are you a student?" I said, "No, I'm a DJ. I'm here presenting." She said, "Oh, wow." And she said, "I'd never seen a female DJ before." And then I started telling her about my program, me mentoring young kids. And she said, "Wow, that's actually very interesting. You know, is it okay if I have your card?" And she followed up with me about 3 or 4 weeks later, and she wanted to do a news segment on me. So we split it up. It was a 2 day interview. The first interview, I was in the studio, just talking like what we're doing. She just got the background of my story. And then the second one was more of hands-on, what we do with the kids. And we did a workshop, and I brought my young kids down teaching. So she put it all together. It took like 3 months before they actually premiered it. We filmed it a while ago, and it was a really good look for my brand, for my kids' DJ school. So I've built a relationship with her from a free, well, it was considered like a free, I'm sorry, career day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the quarantine happened, actually the second time when I got featured on there, I wasn't expecting that her story was going to migrate more to me and the revival of my business. It was because I've invited her to attend one of my gigs where I did a virtual wedding. And they had the news and the Philly Inquirer there. So I was trying to pull CBS 3 to it. She couldn't make it. She couldn't send someone. And then I tried to follow up like, here, well, this is what we did. And, you know, I'm also doing this online. And I had a really good show with this pastor, and I kind of blew up from it. So she said, you know, I think your story is way more beneficial than that because NBC already featured it. And that's how I got it again. But it was from the original connect from 2 years before.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I've spoken at Career Day at the high school and at the college, and it's super fun, but it's kind of like you don't really know, like it's kind of hard to read like the kids' reactions, but they do have them fill out some feedback, you know, form. But what I learned was that they really want more hands-on. They want more hands-on because I teach more business, but I do bring the gear and let them touch it, and everybody always wants to scratch, and the kids love it. And I started doing kids dance parties a long time ago because my daughter wanted to come to the parties, and we're like, "You're not old enough." So then I'm like, let's throw parties for you.
Oh,
And
wait, your sound cut out.
oh, my internet gets bad. Is it better?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my daughter would always want to come to the parties, and she couldn't because she wasn't old enough. So we started throwing our own for the kids, and it is so much fun working with the kids. And we've done some after school DJ lessons, and it's so fulfilling, like just to watch them just light up, and like they just love it. So it's really awesome that you're doing that.
Yeah, it was really cool well, for both stories. And when they did the revival of my business with the Zoom parties, I was very new to Zoom, had no clue how to like connect sound, how to work it. I mean, I was DJing and all you saw was that little black box, but I could see the gallery view. I learned a lot of hands-on, doing them more and more frequently, that after, like, once you do one, it's like somebody else is having a party the next week or they create a party. So with that market, it's just so cool because, you know, you don't have to do much planning at all. People can have a Zoom party the next day. All it is just sending out a link, sending out a code and a flyer, and then people just log in from anywhere.
Yeah.
So I liked how that industry was just, even though it wasn't planned out far in advance, it was just very fast. And then, you do 3, 4 parties in a day, you're virtually tired. It's a lot more to entertain people virtually than in person, but it just kept me really, really busy from May all the way, at least through like September. I was consistently doing it until like the city opened up. I started doing in-person events.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of grinding. I call it getting zoomed out because I have a lot of Zoom meetings throughout the week that I've had for 5 years. I've been on Zoom with my business coach and hosting my own things in different communities. And yeah, the DJing through Zoom, I'm still learning a lot of the technical things. I keep learning as I go. And the one thing I haven't done yet is connecting the Zoom to the OBS. So that's probably in the future, but I haven't pushed it too hard because I have what I call country internet. So it's a little risky for me to live stream.
I got it. Got it.
I don't know what will happen. Well, that's cool. You guys are back in. You have some live events now. How's that been?
It's picking up now. Well, I started, teaching the webinar, and it wasn't that I was hesitant about like educating the DJ community about it. But I also felt like, because I'm in it and I feel like I'm an expert in it, why keep it to myself when I can't do all events?
Mm-hmm.
So, in my personal opinion, I feel like the best way that you grow as a person is when you can give back the information to others. Now, my webinar is not free. The DJs, they do invest into it. They have to pay for it, but it is usable information that they can take with them, apply it to their own brand and get their own clients and, DJ. But what they don't realize is that you already have a market, especially if you've been in the industry for quite some time. You have an email list, you have a contact list, and I'm almost certain most of the people who they're connected with have never even thought of a Zoom party. So unless you, as the artist, you introduce the idea, they would never know it exists. And it's just a matter of like how you promote it, how you reach out to your previous clients for them to actually like consider these Zoom parties. And what I've done, I went through my email list and I've sent it directly to my clients, like sending a nice memo, and I've converted a percentage of them into repeated clients doing Zoom parties. And it worked for me. So I know if it works for me, it will work for someone else as long as they know.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like similar strategy to what we would usually do. It's just taking it online and into Zoom.
Yeah.
The party doesn't need to stop. The dance parties. We've had some rockin' Zoom parties. Like I threw my own for my birthday where I was the DJ and I was the host. I was the everything, the birthday girl.
Yeah, I think it's like a unique concept, especially like to keep people safe with COVID, not coming together. And now like the Zoom parties, I'm now going to add that concept into my mobile DJ business because I have live streamed at an event just like this, playing music and giving them, good quality sound and music where they can virtually be there even if they can't physically be there.
I love that. That's so awesome. That's such a great idea. I remember one time there was this app where you could like see live what was going on at the bars. And this was in the bigger city. And I often like think about that. Like I kind of wish I could just like go on the app and see like if the bar's cracking tonight or or if there was a live show and I couldn't make it. Anytime there was like a party going on, I live in a very small town, but we do get a lot of music. But if there was like a party or concert going on and I couldn't go, like I could not sleep. Like just knowing that there's like I'm missing out on it. So yeah, I love that you're going to continue to like stream the party and to your fans, and that's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good that you're able to do all that. I'd love to check out your webinar sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one coming up June 26th. Yeah, I can give you the information and I'll comp it for you if you want to just sit through it, see it.
January 26th.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, for sure. I look forward to that. Yeah, I've hosted a few webinars. Another thing I'm still fine tuning. I feel like I've just slowed down so much. I'm like, I'm slow dat. I'm not run dat this year. And that's okay. And I'm learning how to slow down. And that's like what I think a lot of people got to do this year. And I'm seeing the positives to it, but you know, I have 2 children, so homeschooled, and so I'm just doing my best with it. But yeah, the music doesn't need to stop. The dancing, the parties. One of the coolest things, I did a family Easter Zoom party, and I had all my in-laws from the East Coast, all my family over there were on, with all the cousins, and like just having a family gathering too. It's like a great way to connect.
Yeah, it is really cool. I mean, I feel like this is going to go on for quite some time, and we have to adjust at some point, you know, go back to normality. But in the meantime, I feel like Zoom is like the next best thing that's helping people come together from near and far. And I mean, I don't know why nobody thought of this, you know, way back, to implement it even at their events, to live stream it. I mean, churches, I know the services, they do that, but I never thought about it in the form of an event that, you know, grandparents or cousins and sisters, or, you know, friends that live in different states can't physically be there. They could virtually be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why no one thought of that either.
Oh, I mean, it completely went over my head, and I mean, it's not like I can patent the idea, but this is something like DJs can leverage within their companies to offer that kind of service, and I think clients would appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely inspiring me to like continue to get more techie and do my research and watch my YouTube videos on how to connect all the parts, because that's kind of always been the least favorite part for me.
It was a process. I mean, when I did my first Zoom wedding with the news, I didn't understand about like devices being close together, that one's supposed to be muted, the other one's not. Like, I didn't get it. But once I sat through it and I learned it, and now like you see why I'm talking on the mic, because if I'm not on the mic, you wouldn't even hear anything going on around me. It's just like learning how to get quality sound, not just doing it, actually making it quality for your guests.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. So, do you have any advice for anybody who maybe is scared to take that leap for live streaming?
My advice, first of all, you have to be comfortable, and learning to be comfortable on camera it takes practice. And where I got my practice from was doing Facebook live shows. I had my theme nights and stuff. That helped me learn how to reach an audience, how to virtually connect with them because I can't see them. And then kind of treating virtual DJing as like a radio DJ personality, because as DJs, most of the time when we do events, we're just background noise. We don't have to say much on the mic unless maybe you get the party started. And some people still don't. They just rock the party. When you're doing online, it's completely different. Unless you're doing something magnificent with your hands like Jazzy Jeff, it gets boring after a while if they just see me head on just mixing music, unless I'm cute. Unless, you know, as a woman, we got our boobs out or something like that. We have to have something to show for our audience to pay attention to you for a period of time. Other than that, like they'll jump in, they'll look for a couple minutes, and then they're out. So now you have to figure out what you can do as a person to engage with them. And things that I've learned doing virtual streaming is that when people pop in on your live, they like it when you acknowledge them. Like, hey, what up, DJ RunDat? They're like, oh, snap. I feel like I'm right in the room with her. Like you reach people differently. It's a different feel good. And at least for me, the way that I think about it, when I'm listening to the radio, I hear the DJs calling out people's names, and I'm wondering, well, how do I get my name called? I want to feel special. Then you go on their page, they're on live. Then you jump on their live, you try to say, hey, what's up? And that's exactly what you have to do. You have to create a vibe for an audience online. So once you get comfortable with that, then when you get into the Zoom parties, it makes it better because you physically can see them.
Yeah.
When you physically see them on screen, you now can call people out, even if you don't know their name. What up, girl in the yellow? Yeah, we see you twerking. Yeah, what's up, grandpa? Like, you can physically see it. And that's all it is. It's just entertainment. You got to be an entertainer. Playing with your hands is cool, but it's only going to get you but to a certain level when you're doing virtual and when you're doing radio. You got to be a personality. So that's my number one recommendation. And then two, after you learn to be comfortable with the people, to move your business forward, you got to learn the business and follow-ups. So I've learned that following up with your clients after the event, asking for recommendations or referrals, or like, hey, can you put the word out? Can you post this video and then tag me? That's how you reach a different network, and that's how you reach a different audience.
Yes, that was some serious golden nuggets you just dropped. I feel you, because I joined an online radio station and we do Twitch and then it streams onto their website. And like, it's been such a juggle because you have multiple computers and then like, I don't have all brand new computers. And then it's like, okay, well then there's WhatsApp is how we're communicating on the phone with the radio show lady. And then like, okay, it's just like, and then Twitch, and then you're trying to do Twitch and see the comments and shout out people that are saying hi. And it's just like, it is a juggle, but like, it's important. It is really important to connect with your audience. And the shout outs, I love the shout outs. I love when I drop in on a Twitch and they're like, hey, DJ RunDat's here, go follow her, you know. And the same thing when you walk into the club and the DJ shouts you out. Like, I love that. So that's a great tip, you know. For sure. And I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. So there's like this fine line I have with my brides where I'm like, okay, I don't want to seem too pesky, but like, I just want to check in with them because I know that that's where the fortune is, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like as women, we understand women. So it makes it easier for brides to connect with us because they feel comfortable. They can talk and vent or whatever. But then too, like women, we are very detail oriented and men are not. So I feel like, you know, within the female DJ industry, we have that leverage. And especially if you have good customer service skills, it's an A1 plus that you may not even be the best DJ, but if you have great customer service skills, people remember that way more. They remember it. They remember like the phone call, the thank yous. Oh, you know, she was real consistent with, you know, calling us, making sure we had everything. They pay attention to little things like that, little details.
Yeah, the only notifications I had on my phone was for my business email that's connected to my website Book Me page. And so I'm so fast to respond to people. They tell me all the time, wow, that was fast. And they love that, you know?
Yeah. We can't wait. I mean, so many fish out there, you know, if you can snatch them, like they send you a message 15 minutes later, they get a reply back. They're like, oh, wow. So I know if I ever needed something, they're always going to respond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been fun lately. The conversations I'm having with brides, it's just become way more like, I mean, we laugh and like we just connect and it just feels really good. And like, there's no nerves. Like back when I first started these sales conversations, there was nerves for sure. Like, okay, let me get myself in state. Let me get prepared for this interview. You know, let me turn on the Beyonce button, like bring that energy. But it's also like I have this thing of wanting to be professional, but also wanting to just be myself, down to earth, like natural, authentic. So I'm attracting those right brides too.
Yeah. That's good. And, you know, I pay attention to the things that you're doing with the DJ community and teaching them the business aspect. I feel like, especially with men, they are so egotistical, like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I got it. But you can never stop learning. That's how I feel. You always learn different techniques and things from other people, and you see what works for them. And then you also got to pay attention to what kind of clients they're bringing in opposed to yourself. I can analyze and look at a DJ and how they're branding and marketing themselves from social media and tell them what price point or what bracket they'll stay in, because it's how you market and how if you want to get, a $5,000-$6,000 wedding, you can't keep doing this. You can't keep posting like this. You can't, promote yourself, and it's not quality. If you invest into the quality, the videographers getting good photography, then your clients feel like you take it serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's been the biggest challenge for me, is collecting the quality video at my gigs. So I had a whole plan for 2020. I was going to have an assistant come. She was going to do everything. She was going to be able to, drive me, because often I'm driving, a good hour to an event, help me with the heavy lifting and the setup, and, watch the gear when I go to the bathroom and give me a break. I had this whole plan. She was going to video me and all of it, just like, okay, that's 2021 summer plan, hopefully.
An assistant it's important. I've learned to use your assistant to use your assistant. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so much we could do. And COVID kind of forced me to build a team of technical people that helped me launch the podcast. And, they've been helping me edit videos of my interviews, but like to actually collect footage and put it together and create promo videos, like it's a process. And I am not afraid to put out something that's not, perfect at all, because it's like you're still putting yourself out there, and it's fun to watch the growth too, to look back and be like, oh wow, look at how I was showing up 2 years ago, and look at how I'm showing up now.
Yeah, and you also do need somebody that's how would I put it? My friend would say like a buffer, somebody to speak highly on your behalf. Mm-hmm. So do you have your testimonies, like when people buy your books, or they are learning from your course, that they are writing testimonials so other people can see it and say, hey, let me contact her, next time she has like a webinar or something, I'll pay for it, I'll jump in. Do you do that?
Yeah, I have video testimonials from my coaching clients, and I have gotten into practice of taking the podcast reviews and creating social media posts for that. I haven't done any with the book lately. They are on my website, on my author page. So there's book reviews there. And yeah, it's definitely something I wanted to do more of, is the actual video testimonials from, say, the bride and groom. That is something I have yet to do, and been kind of thinking about it in my head, like, okay, so I know some companies do, maybe they put it in the contract, or they arrange it in advance, and they say, hey, if you do a video testimonial for us, we'll knock off $100. My internet got weird. Let me say that again. So I've heard of some companies that actually give their clients like a discount and take $100 off if they do a video testimonial for them at the wedding.
Oh, wow. That's a good strategy.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh? I'm like, So yeah, I've been like trying to think, how do I do that? I mean, if I'm really good friends with the couple, that would be really easy, and that's something I'm working towards, is getting to know my clients, my brides, more. The whole like nurturing that relationship before the event, because that's not something that I always have done. I've actually had bride and couples that I had never met. So it's just, I live in a very rural town, and then we'll have people, traveling from the other side of the state to get married here. So, but now we can do Zoom meetings with all of our clients, and, it's the new norm.
Listen, I mean, even if you can't catch them at the wedding, which a lot of times, like, they just dip, you should be able to follow up, I would say at least 2 or 3 weeks after the event, and say, hey, can we do a Zoom call, and can I record it? And then boom, they can do the testimonial here, even though it wasn't at the physical wedding. That still is a very meaningful content to grasp.
Yeah.
And it's clear, they don't have to worry about no background sounds. Oh, and then, the husband being drunk, like, yeah, it was the greatest. I'm going to get laid tonight. Some things you might have to keep out. I had a client like that. They were extremely drunk, and they did that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to post that part of the video, but
That's hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, no, that's a great tip too. Yeah, I mean, word of mouth, testimonials, referrals. I have a referral program. It's more for my coaching. So if somebody refers somebody to me for coaching, they get a percentage or they get like a VIP day with me. So it's really about relationships. All business is about relationships. And that's one thing I love about interviewing people is like we get to know each other, we get to vibe, like you're across the country. Like I didn't really know very many, DJs. Now I know hundreds of DJs because of the internet and Facebook groups and social media, and it's really fun. It's really cool. I can't wait till one day we all get to do DJ conventions and we get to throw our own female version.
Yes, I think I was trying to bring that together with the DJ Expo, kind of have like a female kind of coalition, or I don't know, some kind of presentation or something gravitated to us. I don't know. Maybe that's being sexist, but
well,
I thought.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to go to that one because my in-laws are in New York, and so in Long Island, and in New Jersey, and so I can't wait to go to that one and experience that. But yeah, I mean, I did just start interviewing men for the first time after interviewing only women for a couple years, and it's been really cool. It's like not like that different, but it's I'm learning a lot. I thought it was kind of cool where one of them's like, hold on, is this on video? Let me go put some gel in my hair. Let me put some chapstick on. I was like, we're not the only ones to fix our hair. Like, not, yeah, it's been fun. I definitely am learning so much just by connecting with other DJs, and so thank you for sharing so generously, like your story and everything that you've been up to and all the tips. And yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay, well, how can we find you online and best support you?
You can find me on Facebook or IG at DJ Neeek with 3 E's, NYCE, Neeek Nyce. I do have a battle coming up this Friday with my fraternity brother, who is named DJ Smooth. And it is like the battle of the Zetas and the Sigmas. So that's going to be very unique. I think that's the first battle I've ever seen with my organization, is putting the music aspect together. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. Well, good luck. Go girl. You're battling and everything. Is there anything you don't do? Like you're Superwoman.
I normally don't battle. I normally don't, but it's a friendly competition. It's nothing like Jazzy Jeff kind of battling. It's not.
That's cool. Well, thank you for being a part of the show, and I look forward to staying connected with you and checking out your webinar, and we'll post all your links so everybody can connect with you and follow you and check out what you have to offer. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.